There's a part of being a human being that most human beings never, ever realize, let alone explore. And the part of us that we never explore, at least not deeply, is the incredible mystery of our own existence. We're pretty much spoon-fed a bunch of social, moral, and religious ideas from the time that we're born. And so that everything that we meet in life, we meet through those ideas. We don't hear anything new because we already know what we're supposed to hear from life. We don't see anything new because we're looking all the time for something we recognize and want. And it's a joy when you begin at last the interior work that allows you to start hearing and experiencing the real world. Just as a simple example, because it leads into the material that we're going to cover today, and actually for the next couple of weeks, because we're coming into the season, we're coming into the winter solstice. Isn't it unusual that most men and women, at least I don't know if what you see, what I see, why do people get more melancholy, depressed, and basically irritable at the high season? Have you noticed that? There's a tension in the air. Do you know why there's that kind of pain, at least in part? Because we belong to a much larger body. And we don't know anything about the larger body we belong to, let alone the role we are to play in it. The winter solstice marks the time when we move from one season, if you will, into another. It's not by accident that the actual, at least acclaimed time of the birth of Christ was in the darkest hour, which is what the solstice represents. And that season, that change in which it will get darker instead of lighter for a period of time, just as when we come to the other solstice and things get lighter instead of darker, we're a part of that. We don't know anything about the feelings that the conditions produce. I'm not going to go into the other seasons. I've written about our relationship to that. But we don't see a relationship to seasons. We have our own season. It's always the season of me. Isn't it season of you? We're all highly seasoned, lowly seasoned. And what is the solstice? What is this season? What do we see when we look out when this time of the year comes? And I'm introducing the material I'm going to cover this way because I'm going to read to you two short passages from the New Testament which completely validate, once a person can begin to understand their broader relationship to the life that we're born into and the purpose of our existence within that broader life. So that we can start to get a glimpse of how we are created to be able to participate in a series of relationships whose sum, meaning the full of experience of it, is greater than the parts. Because our life is all about trying to explain the way we experience life through these parts. This person, that problem, this situation, everything about our life looks out and it seizes one thing, and then it measures everything about itself through that one thing. What he said, what she didn't do, why are they dressed like that, what's going to happen when I go there. So our life is a constant measurement that we believe is totally valid because the part of us doing the measuring has gone before us to ensure that things line up the way we want. And as you should know well by now, things don't line up the way you want. And when they don't line up the way you want, what do you do? What do? You whine. That's right. An incessant string of complaints wander through your mind when people or places don't line up with what you want. And it never occurs to us that the problem isn't the event. Because you'd think by now, wherever you go, since there's a whiner there, that maybe the problem is the whiner's traveling with you.